In 1895, Fred Ferman began a business that would ultimately become one of the largest auto dealership groups in the country. Today, his grandson Jim Ferman, the CEO of that family enterprise, is proud to share his grandfather's love of the natural landscape and his commitment to keeping Florida wild.
This part of Florida, which is called the Nature Coast and is in fact an important part of the Florida Wildlife Corridor project, is different than the beaches. The areas like we're in here today, where it's the rivers and the marshes. If I'm canoeing back through the creeks, I could as easily be canoeing 200 or 500 years ago. The backwaters in Crystal River look today like they would have when the Native Americans were here. Natural Florida is natural Florida. It hasn't changed, and it doesn't have to change. Florida presents a great opportunity for business persons, but Florida, first and foremost, is a magic place with an environment that brings people here, that brought people here in the 1800s when my family first came here. Long before there was a thriving business climate, there was a place that people wanted to be. Florida and its wildlife was what brought my grandfather here. My grandfather came here in the 1880s, not just because it was a land of opportunity, but because it was a land of natural beauty. He and our family, for 5 generations now, have been fortunate enough to live here, enjoy the things that brought him here to begin with. It's our responsibility to provide that opportunity for generations to come. The Florida that brings people here today needs to look like the Florida that brought people here 100 years ago. And if we aren't intentional about it, it won't happen. Florida is more important than the business that we happen to be in. I want my grandchildren to enjoy the part of Florida that looks like it did when my grandfather came here. And that's why we've chosen to put resources of time and financial resources behind the Florida Wildlife Corridor. We think it works, and we'd encourage you to do so as well. You won't be disappointed. You'll be proud of what happens.
Invest in Wild Florida today by making a donation at floridawildlifecorridor.org.